Extraordinary sense of humor.
Mr. Prince, I just had a look at what's in your well. Not a pretty sight, that. Not pretty at all.
Yes, Captain Smollett was thorough, if nothing else.
You saw him when he did it, sir, out in the back?
No, quite. We were just returning from a walk. Smollett evidently had been laying for the curate, hiding out in those bushes by the road, I imagine.
He was never inside this house?
Never.
And you say, Captain?
I say that while I was inside this house, a guest of the family, I was coerced into dragging the curate's body outside and dumping it in the well.
Well, there we are.
Not entirely, Constable. I'll just remove my raincoat. And demonstrate how damp I got my clothes when I went outside without it.
No. That's interesting, isn't it?
Quite. He undoubtedly removed his coat at some point between here and your post. I might as well tell you that his weapon, a red croquet mallet, is out by the side of the house. I shouldn't be at all surprised, but that you'd find his fingerprints all over it.
All over the end of the mallet, Constable. The end that mashed Withers' head. And not the end I'd have had to grasp in order to do the mashing.
Governor. That's a decent try, Smollett. But it won't work. There must be other evidences, Constable. You'll undoubtedly find them when you examine the body.
Oh, he means my hair under Withers' nails. Well, sir, if you look carefully, I believe you'll find a few of my precious hairs under his son's nails, too.
Here, what are you trying up? Constable, this is an utter waste of time. So far as the violent struggle between Smollett and Withers is concerned, Smollett's face speaks for itself. Quite eloquently, I believe.
Oh, but no more eloquently than your son's knuckles. As you see, Constable, a fresh abrasion. He did that on my teeth. Or did he?
What?
I say, or did he? He might have done that on Withers' teeth.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. But I didn't. Governor, he said I... Oh, keep still, you nitwit. Let me think.
As a matter of fact, George, the more I think of it, the more I'm convinced it was your voice I heard. Quite a vigorous quarrel. Something about the curate jilting your sister.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Smollett.
Very well, Princey. If your son didn't do it, who did?
That's what I'd like to know. How about it, Mr. Princey?
Well, that is a sticker, all right.
George, my boy, it looks like you're elected.
Elected? What do you mean? I didn't do it. Why, I had nothing to do.
Keep your mouth shut, will you?
I won't. I'm not going to take the blame for her. Millie did it. She did it with that mallet. I saw.
You could prove that?
Prove it? Yes. Her fingerprints on the mallet. The handle.
Why, George, don't you remember when you made me touch the mallet? When you picked it up with your handkerchief?
No,
George, I'm sure you wiped that handle clean. Oh, well, I could hardly expect you to remember that if you can't even remember killing the curate.
Governor, I told you to keep still. But, Governor, you're not going to turn me over. As long as I can remember, George, you've been a trial and a tribulation to me. Governor, You shouldn't have done it, son. You really shouldn't.
No, George, that was definitely wrong. I say, Princey, I think I'll have that cup of tea after all. Nothing like it in weather like this.
Wet Saturday, from the short story by John Collier. You have just heard the second in Columbia's new series, a series designed to bring you the best in thrill entertainment. Outstanding dramas from the field of fiction and radio, stage and screen. Dramas of pure suspense. This Columbia feature is produced and directed by Charles Vanda, with script by Harold.
Okay. That was Suspense from 24th of June 1942, titled Wet Saturday. Anyway, before I present those Eurovision songs that I've mentioned, I want to know something. I usually don't talk about the news. I usually pretty much stay to the radio subject. However, something does need to be noted. Wait a minute. Let me get this on here. All right. Something does need to be noted. Something I saw, a link that Phil Henry had sent, and I'm not gloating when I say this. It's kind of sorrowful when you think about it, in a way. How Fred Phelps wasted his life, in my opinion. Especially, and I'm not going to say anything about homosexuality per se, but, protesting the funerals of people, soldiers that gave their lives so that old Fred Phelps had the right to say those things. And, I hate to say it, Mr. Phelps, but I think you're about to split hell wide open because of what you did to military families. These soldiers, kept this country free so that you could open your mouth and say, things about them. And if Mr. Phelps, it's not going to be well done, good and faithful servant. It is going to be, I never knew you, because of what you have done to those families. And as sort of a side note, to all those families where there was people who gave their lives, all soldiers who have died to protect our freedoms. I am going to dedicate this short, quick bit of music. It's about a minute. To all the soldiers that gave the ultimate sacrifice. So bear with me, and I'll be right back with music of a lighter nature right after this. And that was for all the soldiers who gave all, I guess you would say, who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you all for our freedom. And damn you, Fred Phelps. Well, here's the promised Eurovision songs. The contest is somewhere about 50 days from now or something like that. It's the beginning of May. And these two, one song is from Spain, the other one from Sweden. And the interesting part is both of the music parts were written by the same Swedish guy, Thomas. The way he spells his name out is Thomas G. Son. Thomas G. Son, And of course he did Euphoria for Sweden, but he also did the Spanish entry. He wrote two songs for the past for Eurovision in 2012. Both of them actually, compared to some of those other songs that were put out on 2012, these were pretty good ones here. So I'm going to play the Spanish one first. They're both about 3 minutes. After I play these, I'm out for the night. And in about a half an hour, Johnny Lightning is on, and I plan to listen to at least part of it. So the first song, and this of all the Eurovision songs throughout the years, this one has received the most points from the music industry juries, because part of it is decided by the music industry juries. The other part is televote, just like American Idol. And I'm going to play the Spanish one first. Actually, I prefer it over Sweden's entry. I would have preferred to see this one win. But anyway, wait a minute here. Make sure I cue this up. Yeah, I queued it up. Here we go. Pastel Soler for Spain. And the song Quédate Conmigo, which translated Stay With Me. Just one moment, and here we go.
Perdón si no supe decir que lo eras todo para mí. Perdón por el dolor. Perdona cada lágrima. Yo sé que no merezco más, pero si no te tengo aquí, no sé vivir. Quédate conmigo, no te vayas, perdóname. Si no supe amarte, amor, no era mío el corazón. Quédate conmigo, quédate conmigo. Si no estás, no sale el sol. Ya no hay recuerdos del ayer, solo las horas en tu piel, amándote. Quédate conmigo, no te vayas, perdóname. Si no supe amarte, amor, no era mío el corazón. Quédate conmigo, quédate conmigo. Si no estás, no sale el sol. Y ahora que te veo marchar, sé que no te voy a olvidar. Si no supe amarte, amor, quédate conmigo, quédate conmigo. Si no estás, no sale el sol. Y ahora que te veo marchar, sé que no te voy a olvidar. Quédate conmigo, quédate conmigo. Si no estás, no sale el sol.
Okay, that was the first. That was one of the songs written by Thomas Gieson for Eurovision 2012. The other one that was the winner, which was sung for his native Sweden, Euphoria, and you'll be able to understand this one actually, the lyrics to it, because it's in English instead. There's a lot of variability as to what languages are used. Like Israeli entries are required to have at least half Hebrew lyrics, etc. Most of the other countries have their songs in the modern lingua franca, which is now English, is no longer French. Anyway, and this will be the last song, and then for the evening, and again, I'll be playing for broadcast 2 Eurovision Song Contest until the contest is for this year starts and is completed. So here we go, and this will be the last thing for the evening.